What's up, fuckers, and welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K23 Next Gen. In today's video, we're going to be doing our final normal rebuild here on NBA 2K23, and it is a team that desperately needs it in the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now, this Timberwolves team made one of the biggest trades this offseason when they acquired Rudy Gobert from the Utah Jazz. They gave up 5 draft picks in order to make that happen. So, obviously, we don't really have a ton of future assets on this team. Rudy Gobert is locked into a 3-year contract. The Timberwolves are off to a 5-6 start. The Rudy Gobert fit's an interesting one for me. D'Angelo Russell's not playing that well. This team desperately needs some help. And obviously, our goal today is to get them that help and hopefully get them a championship. So as I mentioned in a ton of my videos previously, this is going to be our final normal rebuild. I've done every single team at this point after this video is over. So if you're missing anyone or you haven't seen anyone, they're all on a playlist. Just go check it out. Just click on my playlist tab. Other than that, we're going to be getting back into the trading every player rebuilds. I'm going to try to start those tomorrow. So let me know which team you want me to use with the first trading every player rebuild. But without further ado, man, the Minnesota Timberwolves are definitely in some trouble. Let's see if we can turn some things around for them and get them a championship. Let's do it. So as many people thought, myself included, I was assuming that the Timberwolves would probably be close to the top of the West right now. I mean, this is a pretty good team. And it's an interesting constructed roster because they basically do have 2 centers starting at the power forward and the center spot. Karl-Anthony Towns is basically a center playing the 4 right now. I mean, he's 7 foot tall. Now, that being said, he can't shoot the 3 ball. So there's definitely some flexibility there. And yeah, the Rudy Gobert fit is interesting. I mean, again, it's so crazy to me how the Utah Jazz blew up their team this offseason, traded Donovan Mitchell to Cleveland, traded Rudy Gobert to Minnesota, and they were supposed to tank, be one of the teams that was in the mix to get Victor Wembanyama, and ultimately they're off to, what, 9-3 start right now? It's absolutely insane to see what's happening there, but our focus today absolutely has to be on getting this team a championship and doing that with the assets we have, because it's not a lot of them. So let's get into this roster breakdown really quickly. We have D'Angelo Russell here, who has been deloading since 2015 when he was drafted. And what pick was he? Was he number 3? Number 2 overall back in 2015. And, you know, ultimately, I don't know what's going on with D'Angelo Russell. He's not playing well. He's shooting like below 50% from the free throw line, which is just insane to me right now. So we're going to see what happens with him. I'm not just going to trade him immediately because, again, I think he'll probably be a little bit better in 2K than he has been in real life. We have Jordan McLaughlin, then we have Austin Rivers here, excuse me, at our 2 backup point guard spots. We have Anthony Edwards, who I love a lot. You know, Anthony Edwards is somebody who was a number 1 overall draft pick back in 2020. And I'm hoping he takes that next step going into, what would this be, technically his 3rd season here. So I'm excited to see what happens. We have Jalen Noel, who's actually been pretty solid, I believe, this year for the T-Wolves. Then Bryn Forbes here as well. We have Jaden McDaniels, who came over. Wait, no, he did not come over. Excuse me, my bad. I was thinking of somebody. I was thinking about Jared Vanderbilt. We have Jaden McDaniels here starting at the 3 for us. Again, it's an interesting, you know, position to be in. He's 22 years old, but I'm probably going to need an upgrade there. We have Taurean Prince, Wendell Moore Jr. here as well. We have Karl-Anthony Towns who's going to be starting here at the power forward spot. He's on a huge contract. It's a supermax, I believe, 5 years, $232 million. I have no plans on moving him, but I don't know if he's going to be staying at the power forward spot for the whole video. We will see. Kyle Anderson at the backup 4, and then Josh Bernat here as well, and then, you know, Rudy Gobert, who is obviously a huge acquisition this, excuse me, I cannot speak. Huge acquisition this offseason when he came over in a trade with the Utah Jazz, which they gave up 5 draft picks. I mean, you all know the trade package. I have it sitting right here. The Timberwolves gave up Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverley, Andrew Balmora, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, and then the draft picks were 2023, 2025, 2026 as a pick swap, 2027, and 2029. So if this team cannot get their shit together, some of those picks are going to end up being pretty high, I think. But this is a good team on paper. We just have to make some small tweaks. So we might have a trade or 2, but ultimately I think this team's in a pretty good spot. So let's see what we can do. The Atlanta Hawks are offering us a first-round draft pick in 2026 at the pick swap with the Spurs for Austin Rivers. He was not going to be in this rotation, so I'm doing this deal 10 times out of 10. Welcome to the team. I guess the draft picks. I guess we needed the assets. And then we do have one more trade that we're probably going to make, and that is going to be, who was it? I was going to move somebody. Yes, it was Bryn Forbes, who again is not going to be playing here. He's on a 1-year deal, and I'd rather take the draft pick here. Absolutely beautiful. So the thing with those 2 trades is they don't obviously make us better right now. I mean, getting rid of players never really makes you better, I think, in a lot of circumstances. But with the way this team's constructed, I don't necessarily think we're going to be bad just because I know how 2K kind of works and how its formula works with simulation, if you will, and this is probably going to still be a pretty good team. So I had no reason to really make any major trades. We'll see what ends up happening with D'Lo this offseason as he is a free agent, but as of now, we're not making any major changes. Let's go ahead and set the rotation. So we only went ahead and made 2 kind of small-ish trades that are going to go ahead and give us some assets for the future, because obviously we don't have a ton of draft picks. is we gave up a whole lot for Rudy Gobert. But this is a team that I definitely think should be in the mix here in the Western Conference. Now, it definitely does suck that 2K, for whatever reason, refuses to implement Start Today. It's literally sitting there on the main menu, and they just won't turn it on because this company's a piece of shit. But this is a good team, and I think in the 2K algorithm, this team's going to do very well. So here's how it's going to work. It's D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. It's a pretty good starting five. The bench unit, Taurean Prince, Jalen Noel, Kyle Anderson, Naz Reid, and Jordan McLaughlin. It is an interesting team. Again, it's not the greatest bench in the world, but that's definitely something we can work on. We're going to have to figure out what we want to do with D'Lo this offseason. But you know what? We're in a spot right now where we definitely should be in the mix, close to the top of the West, in my opinion. I'll see you guys at the end of year one. We ended up going 52-30, which I'm assuming was good enough to be close to the top of the West. I don't know if it's a 1 seed, but it's probably pretty good. Luka MVP, really no shock there. Paolo Banchero, Rookie of the Year, also really not a shocker. These awards really never change. You typically see the same guys throughout it. Billy Donovan, Coach of the Year. Okay, we end up taking the 2 seed here in the West. We'll look at the full standings. We ended up being 2 games behind the New Orleans Pelicans, who obviously are a team that is not very fun to deal with when you're doing Western Conference rebuild. The 61-win Bulls. I get it. The Bulls are a good team, but 61 wins is a little bit out of the picture. Anthony Edwards leads us in scoring with 23.5 points a game. Karl Anthony Towns was super solid. D'Angelo Russell, honestly, a whole lot better than he's playing in real life right now, so I will take it. And it looks like he's definitely on pace to be getting another contract from me here. Rudy Gobert, it's Rudy Gobert. I mean, you get what you get. I mean, he's not here to score the basketball. I think we all know that. Good amount of rebounds and obviously probably playing some pretty good defense. Jalen Noel, Jaden McDaniels, Taurean Prince, Naz Reid, Kyle Anderson, Jordan McLaughlin. We look at rebounds. We obviously have 2 huge 7-footers in our front court, and both averaging very good rebound numbers. And D'Angelo Russell leads us in assists. So who we got here in round 1? It's going to be the Portland Trailblazers getting into the playoffs. Off to a pretty good start themselves this year. Dame, Anthony Simons, Josh Hart, Jeremy Grant, and Nurkic. You got Gary Payton as their 6th man. Nasir Little, who signed a contract extension. I wonder if 2K has that updated. They do. Let's go game by game with them and hopefully get to buy the Portland Trailblazers here in round 1, who definitely have a good team. I would say we're a better team, though. We are up 3-2, and we're going to a game 7. And we win in 7. Moving. Did not mean to do that. We are taking on the 6-seeded Dallas Mavericks, who upset the 3-seeded Los Angeles Clippers. They got Luka, Dinwiddie, THJ, Dorian Finney-Smith, Christian Wood, who I believe is actually coming off the bench, or maybe they finally put him in their starting lineup. I know before the season they said he was going to be a 6th man, whatever. I think it makes more sense to have him in the starting 5, but that's just me. We are up 2-1 against the Dallas Mavericks, up 3-1, and please don't blow a 3-1 lead. We are in the Western Conference Finals, taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. All right, Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Steven Adams. Ja Morant and Desmond Bane are strongly making their case, or slowly making a case, however you want to describe it, as one of, if not the best backcourt in the entirety of the NBA. They are unbelievably good. We are down 2-1 right now. We're down 3-1, and we lose in 5. And Ja Morant goes on to win Finals MVP. I mean, he's the best player in the series, and he's taking on a pretty good team there in the Milwaukee Bucks. Bucks-Grizzlies Finals would be unbelievably entertaining. I'm pretty sure I just saw the Grizzlies blow a 3-1 lead. Giannis goes on to win his 2nd career Finals MVP. You know what? I don't have a problem with the Bucks winning it. I think they're probably the best team in basketball right now, and I don't really think it's close. And they don't even have Chris Middleton yet, which is terrifying as a Celtics fan. Let's hit the draft lottery. I don't think we're going to have any picks in this lottery. I don't think we traded for anything this year, so we can just go ahead and sim this real quick. It is the Spurs, the Thunder, the Magic, the Kings, and the Jazz. That is, I don't want to say somewhat. I think the Kings will be a little bit better. Maybe throw, like, I don't even know, maybe the Rockets in there or something like that. But, yeah, we are going to head over to free agency, or coaching free agency, if you will. I don't really think Chris Finch is the best head coach, but, you know, we were 2 seed at 52 wins. Made it all the way to the West Finals. Pretty hard to justify firing him. But if we don't have a good year next year, and I deem that it's appropriate to find a new head coach, I will definitely be doing that. We have 2 second-round picks. I don't really feel like there's a need to use those, so we'll just do a couple of second-round pick swaps there with the Milwaukee Bucks. We'll hit team player options. All of these guys are coming back because I can trade them all for assets if I really had to. We have no qualifying offers, and we enter a free agency where we definitely have to pay D'Angelo Russell. He wants a decent amount of money. I'll give him $25 million a year. I'm not saying he's going to be a long-term option here at the point guard spot, but he's definitely somebody I want to pay, along with Jalen Noel and Naz Reid. Those are 3 pretty big free agents for us. I don't know how Isaiah Thomas or Luka Garza got here, but they did. But we obviously got our 3 biggest free agents back, and I'm very excited about that. So we take a look at this roster. It's obviously basically identical to what it was last year. I'm thinking if we're going to make a move, it's probably going to be here at the starting 3 with Jaden McDaniels. I don't necessarily think he's been playing bad for us. And again, we don't really need somebody here who's going to be averaging 20-plus points a game. But I feel like if we're going to make the upgrade, we might as well just make it now, because Jaden McDaniels is now an expiring contract, I believe. If my math is correct, he is. So we should probably make the move sooner or later. So let's see if we can find a trade. So I was talking about him before, how good him and Ja Morant kind of mesh in a backcourt together. And Desmond Bane would be a really cool guy to add to this team. I'd probably keep him at the 2, move Anthony Edwards to the 3. And I'd like to get Desmond Bane. I know it's not going to be easy, and I'm probably going to have to give up all of the draft picks I have remaining here. But honestly, it'd kind of be the final move we need to make, and I think it would set us up for, hopefully, a championship. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get this to go through. If you want 4, you can have 4, and they agree to it. So it's a lot for Desmond Bane. I get it. But ultimately, I think it kind of is that final piece that we really need to hopefully... who would I rather move? I mean, Bane's like an inch taller. I don't think it makes... I kind of prefer Ant at the 3. I don't really know why. He goes up to an 87. Does Bane also goes up to an 87? And I'm just going to move Ant there. I don't think it's really going to matter too much. All right, so we're in a good spot right now. Ultimately, I think we're probably going to need to maybe sign some new bench pieces. I mean, we didn't really trade anybody that was in the rotation. So maybe I guess I don't, but it makes me a little nervous that Anderson's 29 and expiring contract, Free and Prince is 29 and expiring contract. So like, kind of wouldn't mind maybe moving them. I mean, let's look at some options here. Like Gallo obviously is on the older side, but he also could now fit this team and also be a guy that stretches the floor while we still make the trade. Maybe acquire an asset. I could say the same thing about Harrison Barnes. I actually kind of like Harrison Barnes. You know what? Let's sign Harrison Barnes. He's not really a guy I ever signed. We're going to sign him to a 2-year deal, which now allows me to go ahead and trade Free and Prince, because we definitely have to recuperate some assets. I know I was mentioning how we ultimately... Ooh, 2 first-round picks. How we really didn't have a ton of assets in the first place, so we probably should not have gone ahead and maybe made that big move in order to get Desmond Bane. But I think it's a move that's going to hopefully set us up to really be at the top of the West and kind of really run the conference. So that's ultimately my goal. Josh Minot probably can't get me a real first. Yeah, that's a first. The Charlotte Hornets want to give me first. All right, so we just got back 3 first-round, actually, it's 4 first-round picks that we did not have before, and this team's all set. And you know what? I'm really excited. I'll see you guys at the start of year 2 here in Minnesota. So we made a major trade this offseason. We acquired Desmond Bane from the Memphis Grizzlies. It's kind of one of those things that kills 2 birds with 1 stone, because not only do we get a really good player in Desmond Bane that's going to help our team win games, we also took one of the best players from a team that we're competing with, and ultimately a team that beat us last year. So I really like that move, and he's ultimately going to be a really good player on this team. And I'm really excited to see how this team kind of fits together. It's D'Angelo Russell, Desmond Bane going to be starting at the 2-guard spot. I moved Ant up to the 3s, up to a 91 overall, officially the best player on this team according to 2K. We have Karl Anthony Towns, and then Rudy Gobert, who has regressed a little bit, which does make me a little bit nervous. We'll see what ends up happening with Rudy, though. The bench unit, Jalen Noel going to take over the 6-man spot, followed by Naz Reid, Kyle Anderson, Harrison Barnes, and Jordan McLaughlin. This is a good team. I think we only got better, and I'm hoping for more than 52 wins and a chance to go to the NBA Finals. I'll see you guys at the end of year 2 here in Minnesota. Luka averages a 40-point double-double. He's 0.3 assists off of the 40-point triple-double, but more importantly, we go 63-19, which is 11 games better than last year, assuming it was good enough for the 1 spot here in the West, and I'm hoping we can run the West, because I really do think this is a team that can get it done. Scoot Henderson wins Rookie of the Year in San Antonio. He ended up going #1 overall. I thought Pop would be a big fan of Victor Wembanyama, but I guess not. Anthony Black, 6th Man of the Year. He ended up going #6 overall to the Washington Wizards. I don't know who would be starting in front of him, if it's Danny Avdija or... I don't know why you don't start him. Anthony Davis back to peak AD, wins Defensive Player of the Year. Tyrese Maxey, Most Improved. Chris Finch does win Coach of the Year. We go 63-19. So, that is obviously good. And we were hoping to go out and get a championship this year. As I mentioned, Memphis is still obviously going to be good. I mean, you have Ja Morant, you have Jaren Jackson Jr. on any team. You're going to be a good squad. But you know what? We took one of their best players in Desmond Bane, and I'm sure he's hoping for a little bit of revenge. Let's look at the numbers. Anthony Edwards, Desmond Bane are 2 leading scorers, followed by Karl Anthony Towns, D'Angelo Russell. Overall-wise, is a really good fit. I mean, Rudy Gobert scoring goes down, but again, he's not really here to score the basketball, so I'm not really too stressed about it. Let's get into the playoffs. We got a first-round matchup here with the Denver Nuggets, who are a pretty good team themselves. I don't know why Jamal Murray's an 82 overall. Is his overall going down? I don't know. Maybe he's pissed in his role or whatever. It's one of those weird 2K things. But nonetheless, we are up 2-1 here against the Denver Nuggets, and we end up... Okay, come on. Close them out. No fucking shot. It takes 7, but we get here. It's the Oklahoma City Thunder, obviously a young team. Josh Giddey, SGA, Lou Dort, Poku, Victor Wembanyama. Oh, shit. Now you have Chet Holmgren coming off the bench, which is an interesting fit. I mean, I've actually seen Chet Holmgren win DPOY a lot in some of these rebuilds. I mean, we're up 3-0. We're obviously going to win the series because that's a young, inexperienced team. But that team scares me, especially for next year. Luka, Josh Green, they always add Chris Middleton. They always find a way. They added Clint Capella. It's a really good defensive fit. Looks like they moved on from Christian Wood after one season. Let's see what happens here against the Dallas Mavericks. I think we're a much better team, to be honest with you, but apparently 2K doesn't think so. We are down 3-2. We're going to Game 7, and we lose. We come all the way back down from 3-1, and we lose. Jason Tatum and the Celtics taking on Luka Doncic and the Dallas Mavericks. You got a battle here between two of the best young players in the league, and the Celtics winning 5. Holy hell, Jason Tatum. That's what we refer to as finals redemption right there. All right, let's get into the offseason. Major moves, maybe 1 or 2, but I think what we're going to do right now... Oh, shit, I didn't mean to skip over the draft lottery. We don't have any picks, do we? Timberwolves. Oh, we have 14 from Chicago. I guess that's cool. The major move we're going to make right now, I'm going to fire Chris Finch. I'm going to move on from Chris Finch. I know we just won a Coach of the Year, but in a situation where this team has championship hopes and we should have made the finals, in my opinion, especially against the Dallas Mavericks team that's really top-heavy with Luka Doncic, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on. All right, we enter the NBA draft right now. We do end up having the 14th overall pick, and you know what? I'll draft somebody. I will draft some. I'm going to send them up to my pick. I don't know if they're going to play. Maybe they'll be thrown in a trade, whatever it may be, but I'm going to draft somebody here, and whatever it ends up being. Bilu, however you pronounce the name, could be a good replacement for Kyle Anderson, maybe. He's just 76 overall. Could maybe be in the rotation. Team player options, we have none. Qualifying, definitely got to get Ant 1. Definitely got to get Desmond Bane 1. Thankfully, 2K still has this little fun glitch where I'm just going to give them both a qualifying offer because I can. So max out Anthony Edwards here. He's going to get a qualifying offer. I'm going to max out Desmond Bane here. He's also going to get a qualifying offer. And then I'm not just going to let Jordan McLaughlin and Kyle Anderson go. I don't know if they're... Oh, I can't give them a contract. I don't necessarily know if they're going to, really be parts of this... Wait, what? Huh? I guess I have to... Oh, I know why it is. It's because these are technically seen as max contracts right now, so I'm over the hard cap. But they're not max contracts. Shit. All right, so I'm going to have to basically let... I think I'm going to have to let Kyle Anderson go. I don't think... Actually, it might let me bring him back now. Oh, no, it does. All right, well, that's 2K for you. So this is the team we have constructed right now. My decision comes down to, am I comfortable enough keeping both Rudy Gobert and D'Angelo Russell? D'Lo's actually played pretty well for me. I don't really think he's the problem. I'm not going to sit here and say Rudy Gobert's the problem, but I might look to make a trade. And I say that because I think he's going to continue to regress. I'm not 100% sure it's going to happen. I have to get somebody obviously as good or just close in the neighborhood. But let's see what we can find. We're going to go ahead and try to get Pascal Siakam here from the Toronto Raptors. Now, is Pascal Siakam a better player than Rudy Gobert at this point in time? I'd honestly say probably. Pascal's having a really good start to his season. Unfortunately, he's injured right now. But Pascal Siakam, he's technically listed as a center here, funny enough. I'm going to move him to the power forward spot. I'd then move Karl-Anthony Towns back to the center position. So I don't know what it's going to take to get this done. Ultimately, if you want Kyle Anderson, you can have him too. They can't even afford him. So it's going to be a whole lot of draft picks. And we only have 4 picks to offer. So we got to see if this is even possible. And it only takes 2. So we're going to move Siakam down to the power forward spot. And then we're going to move Cat back up to the center's position, which I think is probably a good fit. Other than that, at this point, I think I'm going to probably combine Kyle Anderson and Harrison Barnes for a new backup small forward. I think it's probably the move to make right now because we're going to go ahead and run a 10-man rotation. So Anderson, Barnes, again, both on the older side, a first-round pick. Give me a small forward that's a little bit younger. Kelly Oubre Jr., honestly, could be my guy. I like Kelly Oubre Jr. Victor Oladipo, a little bit on the older side. You know what? Let's take Kelly Oubre Jr. I don't really need... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Jalen McDaniels now. And I'm going to combine him with Jordan McLaughlin. I'm going to get a little bit of a better backup point guard as well. And then we're going to be all set. We only have 1 trade offer. Really? How about if I don't include the first? Are there more than 1 trade offers? Yeah, there are. Those all suck. Who are the free agent point guards here? Like John Wall. Actually, no, give me Tyus Jones. Let's bring Tyus Jones in. Or actually, bring him back, correct? No, bring him back to Minnesota. I thought he's been here. All right, that is basically it at this point. I don't think there's really any other moves to make. Noel's been playing well for us. We obviously just got Oubre. So, would I prefer Jalen McDaniels? We had Jaden McDaniels on this team. No, I don't think I would. So, we're going to trade Jalen McDaniels and Jordan McLaughlin. I don't really need them, so I was just going to get some draft picks. I'll see you guys at the start of year 3. It is officially the final season here in Minnesota. We made a huge trade this offseason. We got rid of Rudy Gobert. We added Pascal Siakam to this team. We moved Karl-Anthony Towns back to his actual position of center. And overall-wise, I'm really excited for this team. So we have a new regime here. We have a new head coach in Mike Stauffer, and I am hoping for a championship here in the final season. Here's how it's going to look. It's D'Lo, Desmond Bane, Anthony Edwards, Pascal Siakam, and Karl-Anthony Towns. Really good starting 5. Bench unit, Jalen Noel, Kelly Oubre Jr., Naz Reid, Tyus Jones, and Omaha Billiou. I hope I'm probably not pronouncing that right. But nonetheless, so we did a couple of important things throughout this rebuild. We really upgraded the starting five, and we also really upgraded the bench, which I think is something that definitely was needed. This team's insane. We made it all the way to the Western Conference Finals last year after, what, 63 wins? I'm hoping to be on pace with that. This year, get a championship. See you guys at the end of year 3 here in Minnesota. Not gonna lie, I kind of fumbled the bag and didn't see our record. Luka, 3rd straight MVP. Shocker, I know. Justin Edwards, Rookie of the Year. Ended up going number 9 overall. The New York Knicks. Jalen Suggs, 6th Man of the Year, is in Orlando. Giannis wins. Depoy, Terry Easton, Most Improved. Mike Stauffer. We go 59 and 23. So a little bit worse record-wise than last year, but overall-wise, it is the best record in the NBA. All right, let's see what happens here. Let's dive into the numbers a little bit. Anthony Edwards, Karl-Anthony Towns, Desmond Bane. A little bit of a different scoring because Bane was up to 20 last year, wasn't he? So I guess it kind of makes sense. It spreads out because now you have a guy in Pascal Siakam who definitely scores a whole lot more than Rudy Gobert. So first round matchup here, we got Denver once again. Looks like they have Drew Holiday now and bench Jamal Murray. Well, that's interesting. It's weird. We sweep them, excuse me. Moving on to Memphis, who have the Anthony Melton in their starting five now. Same with Jaden McDaniels. I still think we got probably the better end of that deal right there. We are up 2-0 here. We are up 2-1. They tie it up. That makes me a little bit nervous. We win in 5. Or excuse me, we win in 6. We are taking on the Houston Rockets here, who are up. Whoa. James Harden goes back to Houston. He's wearing number 1 this time, which is interesting. And it's definitely a new look Rockets team from what he had when he was here. But it's a weird mix of kind of. Oh, shit. That went 7. Holy Jesus Christ, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum's up to a 99 overall. Holy shit. They lost Jaylen Brown, so I'm assuming Jason Tatum is... Holy shit. In any other world, he's the MVP, but Luka did the same thing, but it was a triple-double. Okay, well, as much as I love my Celtics, I hope they lose, and they do. We sweep the Boston Celtics as Karl-Anthony Towns goes on to win Finals MVP. Jason Tatum being a 99 overall is something that gets me very happy as a Celtics fan. But nonetheless, that was the official end to our final normal rebuild here in 2K23. I promise you have done all the teams. If you just go check the playlist, all the videos are on there. Other than that, we have a lot of decision making to do. Obviously, you guys have asked a lot for me to get back into trading every player rebuilds, and I am. I'm going to probably start those tomorrow. I need some deciding factors on if you want me to actually choose any of the trades or just do it. With my eyes closed for everything. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'll make a decision, and then I'll probably talk to you guys about it after the first video. But other than that, let me know any other video ideas. I'm down for whatever. I know you guys got a lot of ideas, so let me hear them down below in the comment section. Other than that, it wraps this one up. Of course, you guys are new around here. Feel free to subscribe to the channel, join the community. Hope you guys all have a great day. I forgot my outro for a second. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.